The post is titled, "My little brother, 3M, is actually my 25M fiance's kid." Yes, the title is f***ed up, I'm aware. My fiance, 25M, and I, 24F, have been together since we were 17, 18 years old. Honestly, he was always kind, handsome, and funny, and everyone used to say I was so lucky to have the whole package. I felt so lucky too. He always treated me with love and respect. So this makes everything just so shocking for me. I have always had a good relationship with my mom. It has always been her and me against the world. My dad died in an accident when I was little. We always joked we were the real-life Rory and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. My mom dated guys on and off, and they were usually cool, but nothing really past the early stages. Around 4 years ago, my mom told me she was pregnant, which was a huge surprise. My mom was around 42 years old, and although she was sort of dating someone recently, I didn't meet the guy but knew she went on dates. It was still a big shock. She never thought she could be pregnant at her age. She had me when she was super young, and oopsie, and I could tell she was stressed and worried. I decided to support her since she has always supported me and tried to reassure her. She then had my brother, who is now 3 years old. I have a close relationship with my brother. I have helped take care of him since he was born, and I just love the little guy. My fiance was also always helpful with my brother. We would take him out for ice cream, to the playground, pool time during summer, etc. But nothing was weird. He was just my then boyfriend spending time with my brother and me. Now to how I found out. My fiance and I have lived together since we finished college. My fiance was not at home since he was hanging out with friends, but I was home because I didn't feel like going out and just wanted to chill on my sofa. At some point during binge watching a series on Netflix, my laptop died and I was too lazy to go get my charger, so I just took my fiance's iPad. I know the password, but honestly never used it before. The iPad logged in and I got a bunch of messages pinging. I guess he hasn't used it in a while too. Anyways, this got my attention and I went to check it out, and of course I found everything. My mom's number wasn't under her name, but I recognized the number and verified it with my phone. She was telling him she felt guilty and that I should know. He said he also felt guilty but couldn't lose me and they fucked it up. She said that it was unfair for my brother to never know his dad and asked if he could live having his son around, not behaving like a dad but a brother-in-law. I broke down. There weren't a lot of older messages, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mom pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in an album. I couldn't anymore. I cried for what seemed like ages, and I waited for my fiance to come back home. I wish I was one of those women that can pretend and get things together before confronting the cheater, but I can't. He came back later that night, around 11:30 p.m., and I just gave him the iPad with the conversation opened and saw his face completely go pale. I asked for an explanation. When, how, why. He didn't want to at first, but knew he had to. Apparently, a few years back, while I was traveling with some friends, girls trip, my fiance and mom had dinner together. This isn't strange since he has been part of the family for so long. Sometimes mom and fiance would eat together at our place even if I was busy with sports or out. I did the same with his parents. Somehow, unclear how, since he couldn't explain it well, one thing led to another and they ended up sleeping together. They felt guilty, but apparently not guilty enough because they slept together 2 to 3 more times, using the excuse of meeting up to discuss how to tell me. Apparently, when my mom got pregnant, they stopped sleeping together and decided not to tell me since my fiance loved me and couldn't lose me, and my mom didn't want to lose her daughter. So here we are now with 2 of the most disgusting humans. I obviously broke the engagement, told my mom to never talk to me again, and moved in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother since I really love him, but I can't be around him now. I just can't. I feel like it would remind me of all those times we talked about having kids. I would be his baby mama, only baby mama. We talked about this future since we were 17 years old. So I want to puke every time I think how I was actually taking care of his child with someone else while still having those dreams. I want to puke. That same day, OP provided an update. First, I want to thank everyone for the nice messages and comments. I was not expecting so much support. I'm still a mess, not gonna lie, but after reading the comments I felt better, like a therapy mini session, so again, thank you all. To the update. As I was afraid, I was indeed confronted near my office this week. I knew this was coming, but I thought maybe I had more time. My ex was the person to come find me. Yesterday, Wednesday, after finishing work and walking to where my car was parked, my ex was sort of lingering, waiting around. I thought about running, not gonna lie, but I guess in the moment I felt strong enough to get over with it, instead of having that hanging above my head waiting to be approached again. He asked if we could talk and I said yes, but I didn't feel like having that conversation over coffee like we were old friends. It felt ridiculous, so I told him to just talk right there. He basically said sorry 100 times and that I deserved better. I agreed. He said he did love me and that he still does, but he would understand why I wouldn't want anything to do with him. He said that if I did in fact consider giving him a chance, that he would go to therapy, alone or together or both, and that he would work hard to win my trust back. I told him it wasn't possible, there was too much damage. This sounds calm when I type it, but in the moment the things came out more with louder tone and harsher words. Anyway, he did say that he is in the or will be, it was a bit of a blur, process of getting custody partly of my brother, and that he in fact does want to be a dad to him. He said he does not want to be together with my mom, that it was just a stupid mistake. Sure, because a 4 to 5 times mistake is just a random thing. He couldn't explain why he did it in the first place. I think he doesn't even know himself. I asked if he cheated with someone else before. He said no. Not sure if to believe it, but he sounded honest. I asked why he didn't come clean, and he said that after he did the deed, he always felt panicked and it hit him that he could lose me and he just didn't want to. I told him it was meant to be found out, that what was his plan? To have my brother around and ignore their relationship forever. He said he didn't think far enough and that he was basically going with the idea of one day at a time type of survival. I asked him if he felt that my mom seduced him. He said it was mutual, which made me want to puke again. I asked if he has had any contact with my mom since I found out. He said yes, but mostly about my brother, didn't elaborate more, and I didn't press for more info on that. He said he told his parents the day before or the day before that, not sure about everything. The parents were not happy, but they are glad to start building now a relationship with my brother, their grandkid. Honestly, all of this felt like a punch in my stomach. I don't know why. The parents wanted to contact me, but he told them to wait till he approached me first, hence why he was here. I asked if he started or thought about the custody before I found out, and he said no. But when I found out it was like the push he needed, great, seems I helped him get his shit together, and this past week he was arranging all of that mess. That's why he hasn't tried to see me before. He sounded and looked defeated, but the whole thing made me, besides sad, angry. I was mainly depressed before, but now I'm furious. I feel like he is still in an okay place and he isn't paying for his actions, beyond me leaving him. He will have my brother, his parents, and others and move on with his life while I lost everything. I hate him. We parted ways not on a happy note, and I told him to never get near me again. I was done. He asked me to see my brother still, that I was important to him, and tried to guilt trip me, and it worked, but I still think I can't. I don't know much about my mom and really hope she doesn't come find me anytime soon because I'm fuming right now and won't be able to handle it. I will be contacting my family and friends and finally doing the blasting today. I think it's about time, and after my talk with him, I got the extra push I needed. In the second update, OP said the following. Update, a lot has happened. I did the blasting, and this is how it went down. I first posted on my family's FB group we share. This is from my mom's family side. I used inspiration from what you all suggested in my last post and said something along the lines of, I want to communicate to you all that my wedding with X has been permanently canceled since I found out that my mom and my ex had in the last few years a relationship which resulted in the birth of my little brother. I had no clue of any of this and I found out about it last week. I won't have a relationship moving forward with my mom and ex for obvious reasons. I would appreciate your understanding and I felt it was only fair to let you know of the situation, since I value transparency and honesty above all. I also included a screenshot of my mother's message, what I said to her once I found out, and a message she managed to write back before I blocked her. Didn't open the message until before the blasting. I didn't want to hear her and be persuaded. It exploded. I had family reaching out via text and calling the whole day after the blasting. I would say most were very supportive and I could tell they were just shocked. There were a few neutral and some suspicious that it wasn't the whole story and maybe I misunderstood. My grandparents were in the maybe you misunderstood category, which wasn't surprising since my mom is super close to my grandparents and like I said before, my mom was always a good mom. So no red flags. I will be moving with a cousin that is more like a sister to me. I haven't reached out to her previously because I knew once she knows everyone would. That's why I went to my friend's place. My cousin is devastated on my behalf and offered I live with her and her 2 kids until I can get my feet on the ground. I accepted and will be moving next week. I'm a bit afraid this will give my mom easier access to me, but I can't stay at my friend's place forever. I then proceeded quickly to post a similar message for my we share most of our friends since high school and local university friends on Instagram. I created a close friends story and tagged most of them too. This went sort of viral in our friend group. Actually, one of my friends sent me my Reddit post and asked if this was me. I confirmed. They were also shocked and speechless. They never thought my ex would even remotely do anything like this. They said, "He was crazy about you." Oh well, apparently he went overboard on the crazy part. The group of friends is divided at the moment. Some are completely on my side, and some are thinking it isn't the whole truth. I told everyone that reached out that if they don't believe me to ask their friend if he is asking for custody of my little brother. That kind of shut them up for now. My ex deleted his social media apparently. Also, my ex's parents called me like I guessed they would. They were kind to me and were very sorry about everything. I got the feeling that they are also overwhelmed and very disappointed. However, it was clear they will be supporting their son. They are very upset at my mother and don't want anything to do with her, but not sure how that will work with my little brother and everything else. They tried to give me info about the custody and what my ex is up to now, but I shut that down quickly and told them I don't want any info. I want to move on. I also asked them to not reach out in the near future, that I needed distance, especially if they will be supporting my ex. He is living with his parents at the moment. Also, my ex and my mother after the blast were going nuts trying to reach out to me. They tried calling my friend, who blocked them, and reaching out from different numbers. I had to put my phone on silence and ignore everyone. However, my mother sent me a long text from another number, and that was a weird text. She said that I was being cruel and that she didn't think she raised me that way. She said she thought we had a better relationship than me blasting out laundry like that without talking to her first. That I didn't have the whole picture. She did mention something that confused me. She said in her long ass text that the reason she slept with my ex is because he reminded her of my dad, that it was grief, that she didn't mean to use him to heal her pain, but she wasn't strong enough. I don't even know what that means. Like, did she think that my ex looks physically like my dad, or personality, or what? I have seen photos of my dad, and well, yeah, my ex isn't super different, but also not super alike. I mean, they share brown/dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, but that's not so uncommon. I don't see what else. I don't know. That threw me for a loop and honestly makes me want to confront my mom just to know what the hell. From all the things she could say, I was not expecting that. I'm holding on better. I don't cry every hour or want to murder them, but I'm still sad and upset, and it just feels like it isn't my life, that it's a big joke or a bad dream, and I will wake up to my normal life. I also need to really start planning my future and start applying for jobs in other cities, or maybe check the possibilities abroad more seriously. I might ask for 2 to 3 days off work to really get my thoughts together and do some research. I'm terrified, to be honest. I feel frozen, but I know I need to start moving. OP said the following in update number 3. I don't even know where to start. I'll begin with my conversation with my mom. Once I moved to my cousin's house, it was easier for her to get access to me, I guess, so my mom showed up and we had a chat. It didn't go well. She was asking for forgiveness, but also giving herself 1,000 excuses. Her story is the following. My ex-fiance, who I'm going to call Max now, reminded her of my dad. She said the way he talked, his personality, his caring and loving self, and how polite and good he is, was, in my opinion. She couldn't stop her feelings for him, and she tried. She dated around and thought of herself as a sick woman. What was shocking is that apparently my mom and Max kissed before he and I were official. He was 18, so no criminality there, but WTF. Also, it seems like Max initiated it. My mom stopped him, and that was it. He and I started dating a month or 2 after that, if the timeline is correct. I'm still unclear who initiated it when they started sleeping together. It seems mutual. I asked her why she kept my brother if the whole situation was so bad. She said that she never thought she could have another baby so late in life, and when she found out she was pregnant, she felt it was a blessing, and I was so nice about it. I again want to puke. Also, it would be like the kid my dad and she had planned all along, second kid. She knew it wasn't my dad's. It makes me sick. She wanted to tell me, but she thought it was better not to because she loves me. However, recently she felt bad for my little brother that his dad was alive and not with him, so both of her kids would grow up without a dad. She felt it wasn't fair to anyone anymore. I told her that I listened to her and that I still want nothing to do with her ever. She said that when I grow up, I will understand. I said that I will never understand because I'm not a sick, selfish, nasty person. I'd rather die than understand. Regarding my family, I have cut my grandparents off. They support my mom. They told me what she did was wrong, but that she was my mom and I needed to learn forgiveness. I posted my mom's message on the FB group again and I had mixed reactions. Some people in my family were completely on my side, like my cousin and an aunt, but some others thought I was being too dramatic and that this needed to be discussed in private, not on an FB group. So I got kicked out. I'm hurt. I grew up with these people. Christmas holidays, birthdays, I don't get it. A lot of people wondered in my last update if my mom was hot or what. Thanks for those questions, by the way. They really made me feel better. Not. But to clarify, and just because my friends said this last time and thought it was accurate in a very morbid way. So have you guys seen the Maroon 5 music video, She Will Be Loved? Well, that is a very good representation. I almost laughed. Almost. On the Max topic, a lot has happened there too. We also had another chat since he decided again to ambush me on my way back from work. I hate this. It feels so vulnerable that people can just reach me like that. Anyway, I tried to avoid him and walk around, but it was impossible. He is double my size in height and weight. I then exploded and told him what my mom said, and he went pale about the part of them kissing before we dated. After some talking around, he admitted it. Apparently, he had a massive crush on my mom as a teenager. We ran in the same group of friends since before we dated, and I have hosted some get-togethers before. But apparently, after he knew me better and we started dating, he realized, "You are your mom's better version." Literally, his words. I felt like it was a slap in my face, and also, what the actual f***? Is my life more of a lie than I thought? Is someone recording this because WTF? Finally, I got more info on why he slept with her, and what I understood is I'm the love of his life. But he needed to take my mom off his system and have closure to that teenage crush so he and I could continue our happy life without regrets. He just didn't count on my little brother and that up situation. I was honestly shocked and didn't say much after that. I just wanted to get the hell away and hide. The day was a blur and I have called in sick the next few days. I felt like everything crashed. I have been sad and angry, but then I just felt devastated. Why did they put so much effort into destroying me? They supposedly love me, so why? I have honestly been recovering from everything, and that's why I haven't really been on Reddit. On the future plans topic, I might be able to get a position as an au pair in Spain. I applied with guidance from some friends and I had a few interviews with some families. One seems like it will be possible. I will know in the next week or two, I have been told. The position is only to start at the end of September, but I'm ready to leave. This will be a setback in my sort of career, but I need to get out. I can't continue looking over my shoulder and I absolutely can't forgive them. Oh, I also saw my little brother. It was his birthday last weekend, and although I didn't go to the party, my cousin helped me set up a short meeting. It was bittersweet. He told me he missed me, and I did too. He told me that he was happy that Max was his daddy because he was so much fun and they are spending a lot of time together, and mom seems happy. That's the translation from toddler talk to adult talk. Not gonna lie, that hurt a lot. I tried to put on a brave face, but it was hard. It was very short, and I told him I would be traveling for a long time and that I would try to send him cards. I can't stomach calls and updates from Max and mom. In the future, through my cousin. He was confused, but he accepted it. I'm not sure how much he understands from everything. User NolaLove1616 said, "Here's a glimpse into your messy, narcissistic mom's future. As she ages, her obsession, Max, will eventually settle with a young woman who will hate your mom, drag her to court over all the men she exposes your brother to, fight for custody, and tell the court she groomed her daughter's boyfriend, etc. I believe your boyfriend was equally to blame, but she will spin it for court. She will be that wife/stepmom who makes your mom's life hell forever. It's part of why your mom wanted you to be with him. First, to keep her close to him and to have a built-in babysitter in you she could control, unlike his next partner. One reason you know he stayed with you was to avoid child support, which your mom used as an enticement for him to keep her happy. Since it's gone public, he'll have child support when he stops putting out and hooks up with a girl. You watch how fast she has him in court. By the way, was there ever a paternity test? Sorry, but your mom seems quite the character. And did he sign the birth certificate at any point?" User more comment 4690 said, "OP, you are better than me. I would have slapped your ex, and your mother is sick, as are your grandparents. You sound like a beautiful soul, and I just know you are going to meet the man of your dreams and never look back. You will be happy, and what will they have? Nothing but a sick relationship to look back on and not have you in their lives. Go and do what you need to do. I love that you have your aunt, cousin, and some really amazing friends. That relationship is sick and will never work out. I hope you know that your mother's sick fantasies about your father and your ex's sick crush on your mother won't last. She's in her 40s and he's 25. It will get old. As for him, you will move on and he is left with losing you over a dumb crush. I want to hear that you have a new man. Please go to therapy and do some yoga for the stress and anxiety. It will help you heal and move on. You lost so much in a short time, but their horrible mistakes will bite them in the rear one day. They will regret everything they have done when you are gone and they hear about all the amazing things you're doing. Don't give up, and I want to hear you're giving someone else a chance. User cworthinessfun3703 said, Mom knew your ex when he was what, 15, 16? You had him at the house for get-togethers when you all were just friends. I think she singled him out because he reminded her of your dad. Something happened for X to initiate a kiss when he was 18. I truly doubt that he was 18, but even if it was, she went after him and sought him out as a barely legal adult. Either she subtly suggested it, or he wanted access to her and started dating you as a means to get close and use you as a cover. I'd want to know more about this massive crush. How did that develop and progress? If they kissed when he was 18, I don't believe for 1 second they didn't have sex until he was 20 to 21. He was with you both those first couple of years for sure. Along the way, his feelings for you overwhelmed his feelings for your mom. Maybe the baby was a wake-up call. I bet he begged for her to have an abortion, but she was happy to have a baby with her dead husband's look-alike. She may or may not still want him, even with a boyfriend or her next victim. I feel like your engagement was a symbol of him choosing you. I bet he made some random comment about you being his one and only, if I had to guess, and he most likely proposed during the pregnancy or after the birth. To be honest, his mind is pretty messed up. She scrambled it. It's interesting he told a distant friend he was groomed. Maybe he realizes that now. Maybe he got wind she was using him as basically a therapy doll. How shameful and embarrassing for him, and he still wants to be with you. It's honestly mind-boggling. She's a mass manipulator, and I'd have to tell him that she's blaming him, making up a fake story about a breakup period, and totally taking the blame off herself. She is fooling people to believe she's a grieving wife. She's a predator. I'd want to report her to the police. Chances are she seduced him before he turned 18. She needs to be put in jail for all her crimes. Hopefully, X gets half custody so your little brother can be raised by his sane parent for his time. If you want to know the truth, tell your ex what she said, and I bet he would be willing to throw her under the bus. I know the relationship with your little brother is heartbreaking now. He will be okay though. Your love for him and his love for you won't go away. You didn't lose him, you simply will have a new relationship. Maybe your cousin or aunt can take him to visit you, or you can meet in the middle somewhere. You could also use your ex's parents to be a go-between person for FaceTime calls and whatnot. Make sure to tell them your mom groomed him. Under this comment, OP said the following: we actually know each other since we were like 10 years old. We all live nearby and go to the schools around the area since always. Max and I were not super close, but around each other since that age, but really got closer around 14. He would come around with friends to my house or I to theirs. It wasn't a big group, but around 6 or 7 of us. He actually said that he chose me and that I needed to focus on that. That he knows what happened was not ideal and he up, but that he loves me and that he chose us and me for life. I really don't know what is in his head. I know everyone thinks, me included, that he is horrible now, but it's hard, you know? He was always the nice guy, defending people, well-educated, the golden boy if you wish. He was my best friend even before we started dating. He was lovely to me all those years, and I never ever felt like he would step out or didn't love me. He would buy me flowers just because he would warm up pads and cuddle during my periods. He would plan dates. He would talk about our future lives constantly. We had the names of our kids picked out. He was that kid in school that did all the sports and was amazing at them, but he would never party and keep his feet and head on the ground. That was him. So my shock to all of this is out of this world. My friends are shocked. He used to do handmade bracelets for us as a couple. That kid did all of this? How? The final update was made about 2 weeks at the time of this recording. Hi everyone, so I'm finally here with an update and a good one at that. I'm moving to Spain. I got the job as an au pair near one of the biggest cities in Spain. I'm so excited. I'm flying in a few days and starting with the family. The kids are adorable too. I will be learning Spanish too, which I always wanted to do anyway, so it all feels like heaven sent. I haven't told almost anyone about it, just a few friends I trust and of course my cousin who I live with. Also, my boss. My mother has been telling people I'm being mean to her when she wants to fix everything. She made a mistake and is trying to fix it, but I'm being difficult. She is just human, not surprising. I'm now really coming to terms with how self-centered she is and has always been. I'm sad I lost the mom I thought I had. Feels like she died. My new therapist, yes, I got one last week, yay, said I'm grieving. Max has left me a bit alone since the last call we had. I heard he is focusing on my little brother and just staying under the radar. I have had some short phone calls with my little brother which have been bittersweet, but he is doing okay. He of course doesn't know what's really happening, but he is happy with having a new dad. It doesn't hurt as much as it did before, but it still hurts. Thank you all for all the support.